G'day guys, how the bloody hell are you? You going good? Yeah, of course you are. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is lemme and I'm a professional surf skater. And today I'm going to be going over 3 key fundamental techniques that you need to know if you want to become a better surf skater. Now the first one is stance, second is compression, and third is extension. These are all 3 key fundamental techniques that we need to know if we want to surf skate with speed, power, and flow. It's gonna help you surf skate a whole lot better if you get these 3 key techniques done correctly. Now I'm gonna be covering these 3 key techniques in 3 different separate videos, but today we're gonna be starting off with stance. So let's break it down for you. First things first, grab your surf skate. Today I'm going to be riding the 34-inch Filipe Toledo Pro model by Smoothstar Skateboards. If you're after a surf skate, I highly recommend grabbing a Smoothstar. They're by far the best surf skate that I've tried. They're so smooth and so responsive, and is literally the closest feeling to surfing outside the water. Check out the link in my description below if you want to grab yourself a surf skate. And saying that, any surf skate you have is going to be absolutely perfect for this tutorial. And just quickly, see this t-shirt, Casino Beach? If you guys didn't know already, I'm an actor, and Casino Beach is a TV pilot that I worked on a few months ago. If you're into that sort of surfy beach vibe, teen drama kind of story, that is what this story is about. It's an Aussie teen drama set at Casino Beach. It's so sick. I had the best time of my life filming it, and you know, we're in post-production now and want to get the pilot turned into a series. So not too sure when it's going to be released, but check out casinobeach.tv on Instagram. Keep up to date with it. It's super awesome. I'll share it with you guys when the first Pilot T episode is ready to be aired, and you know, can't wait for you guys to see it. So let's jump into the tutorial. Alright, now, so how do we stand on our surf skate properly? Now, as a general rule of thumb, you kind of want to stand about shoulder width apart. You don't want to stand any closer than shoulder width apart, because if you do this, you're going to be unbalanced and you're going to come unstuck. You don't want to go, you can go a bit further out than shoulder width apart, but don't go super wide like this, because otherwise you're just going to restrict your mobility and you're going to be super restricted and not going to be able to complete or perform maneuvers properly. So as a general rule of thumb, stand about shoulder width apart. Now with our feet, we don't want to have them pointed straight forward like this. This is because it's going to restrict our mobility. Our hips aren't going to be opened up, and you know, we're going to be restricted when we're turning from rail to rail and when we're generating speed. So the correct way to stand is you want to stand with your feet pointed outwards like this. You don't want them like 45 or outwards like that. You want them just sort of about 20 to 35 degrees pointed out this way. And now what this is going to allow us to do is going to allow us to open up our hips. So when we're standing up on our board or on our surfboard, our hips are open. It's going to be a lot easier to maneuver into whichever direction we want to go. So if we want to go left, we can turn left. If we want to go right, we can turn right. We can go straight into that bottom turn or the backside bottom turn. And it's going to be a lot easier to engage the rail on the heel side and the toe side, because our hips are open, our feet are pointing out this way. And now it's going to be a lot easier to shift our weight back and forth onto our back leg or onto our front leg. As opposed to having our feet like this, we shift our weight onto our back leg, you know, we're sort of going to come unstuck. So with our feet pointed out on an angle like this, it's going to be a whole lot easier to sort of transition into the direction that we want to go. Because if you think about it, when you're paddling on your surfboard and you stand up and if your feet are pointing forward like this, your first initial reaction is you're going to lean forward and you're going to come unstuck. So if you practice popping up on your board, standing on your surf skate with your feet out on an angle like this, you're going to be more inclined to move forward and into the direction that you want to go. Your hips are going to be opened up, so it's going to be a lot easier to turn and do whatever you want on your surf skate. Now, when standing on your surf skate, I like to have my front foot just below these two front bolts here, just around here. I like to have my back foot right on the back of the tail here. Now this is because it's going to help me pop up easier and do those big radical maneuvers that I like to do, but you don't have to have your foot planted right on the back here. Just somewhere in between these back bolts here and the back of the deck here. So you can plant it around here, that's going to be absolutely fine, but make sure you don't have your front foot any further up, any higher than these front bolts here, because that's going to make you go into that poo man stance and you're not going to have a lot of mobility and you're going to be restricted and you're just going to have an ugly style, which is not what you want to do. Now when figuring out your stance, place your surf skate on the ground and stand next to it. Stand about shoulder width apart. Now just sort of line up your front foot where those bolts are and then your back foot will follow suit. Now this is shoulder width apart for me, so if I get on my board here, my front foot is right about here where behind these front bolts, and my back foot, if I place it there as well, it's going to be about here. But that's about shoulder width apart for me, but I like to have my back foot planted at the back here, so that's okay. I can shift it back a bit forward. Your stance can be a little wider than shoulder width apart. That's just a general rule of thumb. And the same applies if you like your back foot at the back here, but your front foot's coming about here and you're feeling a bit unstable, just move your front foot up to around here where it feels comfortable. You don't want to go further than these four front bolts here. You sort of just want to have it around in that area here. So jump onto your surf skate. That's about shoulder width apart for me, but I like to have my back foot just planted up here because that's going to help me like pop it up like this and push the tail and do those radical maneuvers and slides that I like to do on my surf skate. Now what's the best way to jump onto your surf skate and get going? There's a bunch of different ways that you can try. The easiest way I find is just planting my front foot on the deck first into the position where I want it on my board, just behind these front bolts here, and then just stepping on my board like this so I have some pressure, making sure my chest is over my front knee here. My front knee here is slightly bent, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kick off with my back foot planted here and push forward and stick my back foot onto the board like so. There are a bunch of other different ways to jump onto your surf skate. That's probably the easiest way. So that is how we stand on our surf skate correctly. Making sure you have the correct stance when surf skating and surfing is very pivotal, as if you don't have the right stance, you're not going to be able to surf skate properly. You're going to have poor style, you're going to have poor balance. So making sure you have the correct stance is very fundamental and very essential to becoming a better surf skater. Yo! Alright guys, that wraps up today's video on how to stand correctly on your surf skate. The first key fundamental technique that you didn't know in order to become a better surf skater. So I hope you learned something. Make sure you tune into part 2. I'll be covering compression. Now there are 3 different types of compression that I'm going to cover. So make sure you tune into that. You don't want to miss it. It's a very key fundamental technique that you need to get correctly if you want to be surf skating like a pro. In the meantime guys, happy surf skating, go out and shred. Make sure to check out my Instagram at @LakeLePetite and tag me in your videos if you want me to give you some feedback on your surf skate technique. In the meantime, happy surf skating, go out and shred, try this technique, share it with your mates, share it with your family, share it with anyone. I don't care, just go out and try it. I hope you learned something and I'll catch you in the next one. Yo!